The boy couldn't have been more than 8 years old. He stood on the cracked sidewalk with tears streaking down his dusty cheeks, clutching the hand of an elderly woman who winced every time she tried to move her arm. But what froze every biker on that street, what made every engine fall silent, were the 5 words the boy whispered through trembling lips. "He hit my grandma, please help." And the moment those words left his mouth, 40 bikers turned around, parked their motorcycles, and stared at the house behind him, waiting for someone inside to step out. Because kindness isn't always gentle. Sometimes, kindness stands up. Sometimes, kindness arrives wearing leather jackets and heavy boots. Before we continue, if you love real, emotional, heart-touching stories that remind us of the goodness still left in this world, make sure you subscribe to True Story Tales. Don't forget to like this video and leave a comment at the end. I'd love to hear your thoughts and your own stories of kindness. It happened in a small American town where life moved slow, and folks mostly kept to themselves. The kind of place where everyone knew everyone, but not everyone knew what happened behind closed doors. On that hot Saturday afternoon, a local motorcycle group was hosting their charity ride. These men and women weren't the kind of bikers movies warn you about. They were veterans, single parents, nurses, mechanics, and people who liked to help out when they could. They rode for causes, children's hospitals, local schools, and families in need. They had just finished their route and were stopping for water near the edge of a neighborhood when the boy approached them. His clothes were wrinkled, his hair messy, and fear clung to him like a shadow. One of the bikers, a big guy named Ray, took off his helmet and crouched beside him. "Hey there, buddy," he said gently. "What happened?" The boy tried to speak, but his voice cracked. He pointed to the old woman by his side, his grandma. Her arm looked swollen. She held it against her chest, trying to hide the pain. The bikers fell quiet. Ray asked again, "Who did this?" The boy swallowed hard, then whispered, "My mom's boyfriend. He lives there." He pointed toward a peeling gray house with an open doorway and loud music thumping from inside. He got mad 'cause she told him not to yell. The bikers glanced at each other. Not one of them had to say a word. Ray stood up, eyes burning with something between anger and protectiveness. "All right," he said. "Nobody touches someone's grandma." But before anything else, they needed to help her. A woman from the group, Maya, stepped forward. She was a nurse and always carried a small emergency kit on rides. "Let me take a look," she said softly. "Ma'am, can you sit?" The grandma tried to smile even though her lips trembled. "I'm okay, just slipped, that's all." But everyone knew she was lying. The boy blurted out, "No, Grandma, tell the truth. He pushed you. He said you were too old and slow." Those words broke something in every person standing there. Maya gently examined the grandma's arm. "This is bad," she murmured. "We need to get you checked out. You could have a fracture." The grandma nodded slowly, almost apologetically. "I didn't want to make trouble. I didn't want him to get angry at my daughter." Ray looked at the house again. "Sounds like he's already angry enough." The bikers weren't vigilantes. They weren't there to fight anyone. But they were there to protect. Ray turned to his group. "We're getting her to a hospital. And we're not letting that guy anywhere near them." Without hesitation, 2 bikers helped the grandma into a car. But the boy grabbed Ray's jacket with a sudden panic. "No! You don't understand. If he sees me with you guys, he'll hurt Mom. He said he would." Ray knelt again. "What's your name, kid?" "Ethan." "Well, Ethan, today, you're not alone. And no one is gonna hurt your mom. Not while we're around." The boy's chest heaved, but for the first time, his eyes steadied. The bikers formed a circle around him and his grandma as they prepared to leave. But before they could pull away, the front door of the gray house slammed open. A man stumbled out, shouting something about noise and stupid bikers. He froze when he saw them, all of them, staring straight at him. Ray didn't yell. He didn't threaten. He simply stepped forward and said, "We know what you did." The man scoffed but took a step back. Ray continued, "We're taking her to a hospital." And we're calling the police. So unless you want to explain why an entire biker group is willing to testify, you're gonna stand there and stay quiet. It was the calmest threat anyone had ever heard. The man clenched his jaw but didn't move. Whether it was fear or guilt or something else, he stayed right where he was. The bikers escorted the grandma to the hospital. Maya stayed with her the whole time. Ethan rode with Ray, sitting proudly on the back of the motorcycle, holding on tight. For the first time in a long time, he felt safe. At the hospital, it was confirmed, the grandma had a fractured wrist and several bruises. The police were called. Statements were taken. And when officers saw the level of support from the bikers, they knew this wasn't going to be swept under the rug. Ethan's mom arrived later, her face pale and frightened. She looked like a woman who had been trying to survive for far too long. When she saw her mother, she burst into tears. "I'm so sorry, Mom. I should have protected you." But the grandma shook her head. "No, sweetheart. We protect each other. That's what family does." That night, Ray and the bikers made sure the family had a safe place to stay. A church nearby donated blankets. A local cafe dropped off hot meals. People who heard what happened came forward with support. The next morning, Ethan stood outside the hospital with Ray. The sun was rising, painting the sky with soft orange light. For the first time, Ethan wasn't shaking. He wasn't scared. He said, "Do you always help people like this?" Ray smiled. "We try. That's what kindness is, kid. Not just feeling bad, but doing something about it." Ethan looked at the motorcycles lined up like guardians. "I'm gonna be like you someday." Ray put a heavy hand on his shoulder. "You already started." From that day forward, everything changed. The abusive boyfriend was removed from the home and arrested. The family received support from the community. Ethan's mom found the courage to rebuild her life, and the grandma, despite her broken wrist, became even stronger in spirit. And as for the bikers? They didn't disappear after the incident. They checked in on the family regularly. They fixed up the grandma's old porch. They made sure Ethan always had someone to talk to. They even invited him to some of their charity rides. Ethan wasn't scared anymore. He wasn't alone anymore. He had a new family, one made of leather jackets, warm hearts, and engines loud enough to drown out fear. Kindness comes in many forms. Sometimes it's a soft hug from a grandma. Sometimes it's a nurse holding your hand. And sometimes, kindness roars down the street on two wheels, parks in front of danger, and stands between you and the world. The day those bikers helped Ethan wasn't just about stopping a bad man. It was about reminding a scared little boy that good people exist. That strangers can become protectors. That community still means something. And that kindness, real, powerful kindness, can change the entire direction of someone's life. So the next time you see someone hurting, someone scared, someone alone, remember the bikers. And choose kindness. Because you never know who might be waiting for someone just like you to show up.